Got about 3,000 books here, so if I just go $10 a piece. King. Lost in Space and Kiss toys, Disneyland toys. King. Oh my God. We could be talking a mother or...
When Darrell Sheets walked toward that storage unit, it looked like just another day, another bid, another gamble he had done 100 times before. Cameras were rolling. People were watching. The energy felt normal. At least, at first. The metal door lifted slowly, dust rising into the air, the room falling into a strange silence. And then, something shifted. Not loudly. Not suddenly. But enough to make people look twice. At first glance, it looked ordinary. Boxes, furniture, random items stacked without care. The kind of unit most buyers ignore. But something about it felt wrong. Too still, too untouched, like it had been waiting. Darrell stepped inside anyway. Confident, but slower than usual. And that's when everything changed. He opened the first box, then another. And then, he stopped. Completely still. His expression tightened, his body froze, and for a moment, he didn't say a word. This wasn't excitement. This wasn't a big win. This was something else. And people around him started to feel it too. The noise faded, the chatter stopped, even the crew seemed unsure of what they were watching. Because whatever he had just seen wasn't meant to be found. But what happened next changed everything. Because this wasn't just another storage auction anymore. This was something far more real. Before that moment, Darrell Sheets was known for taking risks most people wouldn't dare to take. They called him the gambler for a reason. Loud, fearless, confident, he built his entire reputation on instinct. While others hesitated, he moved fast, and most of the time, he won. Viewers had seen him pull incredible finds out of forgotten units, rare collectibles, valuable antiques, hidden treasures that turned ordinary lockers into massive profits. To the outside world, it looked easy. Trust your gut, place the bid, walk away with gold. But that wasn't the full story. Because behind every confident decision, there was pressure. Every auction was a risk. Every unit was a question mark. And not every gamble paid off. But he kept going. Again, and again, and again. Because that's what built his name. And that's what made moments like this so unexpected. He had seen strange things before. Unusual items, forgotten pieces of people's lives, things left behind without explanation. That was part of the business. But nothing prepares you for something like this. Because behind every locked door, there's a story. And sometimes, that story isn't meant to be opened. Looking back, some believe there were signs. A hesitation, a pause, something subtle that didn't match his usual energy. But no one stopped it. The bid was placed. The door was opened. And within seconds, everything began to unravel. Because this time, it wasn't about profit. And that's when everything started to feel different. At first, it felt like just another smart buy. The bidding wasn't intense, the unit didn't attract much attention. And that made it even more appealing. Darrell saw something others didn't. Or maybe, he just trusted his instinct one more time. He won it easily. And that's when the real story began. The door rolled up, revealing stacks of items, old furniture, sealed boxes untouched for years. Nothing unusual. At least, not on the surface. But the deeper he looked, the more something felt off. Too organized in certain places, too hidden in others. And that's when he slowed down. No more confidence. No more quick movements. Now, he was careful. He opened box after box, searching for value. But what he found instead made him stop cold. Not something valuable. Not something exciting. Something that didn't belong there. And no one expected this from someone like him. The energy around the unit changed instantly. People noticed his reaction. The silence grew heavier. Even the cameras felt different now, like they were capturing something they weren't supposed to. Because this wasn't just a strange discovery. This felt wrong. And the more he looked, the worse it got. But the truth behind this was far more shocking. Because as more items were uncovered, questions started to build. Not about money. About meaning. Where did these things come from? Why were they hidden like this? And why did it feel like someone didn't want them to be found? Darrell wasn't talking anymore. The man who always had something to say was now quiet. Watching. Thinking. Trying to understand. And that's when things took a darker turn. Because what they were seeing didn't feel accidental. It felt intentional. And that changed everything. This wasn't just a locker full of forgotten items. This was something deeper. Something that didn't belong in an auction. And that's when everything started to fall apart. The mood shifted completely. No excitement. No celebration. Just tension. Just silence. Just uncertainty. Because now, it wasn't about what was inside. It was about what it meant. And that's when the realization hit. This situation was bigger than anything he had dealt with before. This wasn't something you sell. This wasn't something you profit from. This was something you step away from. And in that moment, everything became real. No longer a show. No longer entertainment. Just reality, and the consequences that come with it. But what happened next, no one saw coming. Because decisions had to be made. Fast. What do you do when something doesn't make sense? When something feels wrong, but you don't yet understand why? Darrell's reaction said it all. He knew this wasn't a win. This was something else entirely. Something that would stay with him. And something that would change how people see these auctions forever. Because behind every door, there's a risk. Most of the time, it's money. Sometimes, it's disappointment. But in rare moments, it's something much deeper. Something you can't explain. Something you can't ignore. And just when people, though,